In the stock market, Jamaica and Trinidad are up while Barbados is down. Tech Bytes talks transportation, Alan Auil talks cycling, and performer and artist Yazthalia talks about the entertainment business. I'm Destiny Wagner, and this is Legacy Markets. Good night and welcome to Legacy Markets. I will be your host for a weekly show, the newest source for intelligent and unbiased coverage of money, business, and the economy, both at home and in the Caribbean region. We will be looking at Belize and the region's tech industry in the segment Tech Bytes with our special contributor, Janine Hamilton. And we will have weekly discussions on the synergy of business and sports. Now, we join analyst and co-host Abby for a weekly business headlines and the latest news on the Caribbean stock markets.
The Jamaican Stock Exchange advanced by 66 basis points from the previous trading week. The top two winners were 138 Student Living Jamaica, up by 27%, and Epli Limited, up by 16%. The top two losers were Epli Preferred Shares, down by 14%, and Stanley Motor Limited, down by 7%. In Jamaica's headlines, legislation for the Twin Peaks model is not expected to land in the Jamaican Parliament before 2025. Under this model, there will be separate supervisors of the financial system. The Bank of Jamaica will be in charge of prudential supervision, while the Financial Services Commission will be in charge of market conduct and consumer protection supervision. The new model was introduced after major fraud was discovered at Stocks and Securities Limited. The Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange had a prosperous week, experiencing a 1% advance from the preceding trading week. Our sole winner was National Enterprises Limited, up by 4%, and our two losers were Ansa Macaw Limited, down by 3%, and Republic Financial Holdings Limited, down by 1%. The central bank announced a favorable change in the job market, with unemployment decreasing to 3% in the second quarter of 2023. This reduction is driven by a significant increase in employment, with 24,000 people finding jobs. Unfortunately, the Barbados Stock Exchange decreased by 1 basis point from the previous trading week. No stock advanced at the end of the trading day, and Goddard Enterprise Limited was the sole loser, down by 30 basis points. The good news, though, for Barbados is that congratulations are in order, as the island country was selected as this year's winner of the ESG Loan Deal of the Year at the recently held Bonds, Loans, and ESG Capital Markets Latin America and Caribbean Awards. The debt conversion created new funding for marine conservation and also included a new pandemic clause that allows the country to defer debt payments in an emergency. As of November 29, 2023, liquidity in the banking system went up by 15% to 751 million Belizean dollars. Therefore, it is no surprise that the government of Belize's 3-month borrowing cost fell by 15 basis points to fall to 58 basis points as of November 2023. Now, this is less than 1%. But another economic development in our country is that the Statistical Institute of Belize revealed a 3.4% increase in the gross domestic product for the third quarter of this year. GDP for the third quarter came in at 1.2 billion, which is higher than the 1.16 billion GDP recorded in the same period last year. So, that's it for the stocks and headline news. Destiny, back to you.
Thanks, Abigail. Now, for a brief commercial, but when we return, more on the economy.
Legacy Fund will change Belize from small-scale municipal improvement projects to national infrastructural advancement. Unsightly playgrounds, derelict buildings, unsafe bridges, poor housing choices will become a thing of the past. How will this happen, you ask? Well, with the right partners, of course, but not the ones you're thinking of. Legacy is not looking at traditional financial institutions. We will build this transformation with you. the everyday hard-working Belizean citizen, the hairdresser, the tour guide, the fruit vendor at the market. Using the market and innovative financial tools, Legacy brings you and Belize the financial solution to grow your wealth for you and your community. Contact us and find out how you can be a part of this exciting new Belize that we build. Call 822-1794 or email clientservices@legacyfundlimited.com. People, capital, innovation. Legacy Fund Limited.
Thanks for joining us on Legacy Markets. This show is centered on finance and the economy. And tonight, we want to talk briefly about a very important topic, knowing that we're almost at that time of the year when we make resolutions. Today, we are talking with Nicolyn Raymond, a certified financial education instructor, financial education speaker, and consultant, and the founder of Inner Peace Financials. Welcome, Ms. Raymond.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, can you please tell us a bit more about Inner Peace Financials and the work that you do?
Inner Peace Financial provides personal finance education services such as workshops, courses, speaking engagements to individuals and groups. We also do one-on-one consulting for persons who need some guidance on their personal finances or their money, and also persons who are transitioning through some type of personal change in their life. So we provide personal financial education services.
Well, I'm really happy to be having this discussion today because, as you know, New Year's is right around the corner, and many of us are starting to make resolutions that we don't always live up to because they aren't pragmatic, or at least the way we make the resolution is not pragmatic. So, is it a good time to be making financial resolutions?
Yes, of course. There is no better time than now, especially if you're not in the practice of doing it. So now is most definitely a good time to start considering what you want to do in the future. And then, of course, looking at your finances to make sure that you can actually afford to do some of the things that you want to do. So most definitely now is a good time to start.
In Belize, inflation has fluctuated, but in 2021, inflation had a major jump from 0.1% to 3.2%. In 2022, inflation surged to 6.3%. Notably, this is the highest inflation recorded in the country. Inflation has started to go down to 4.3% this year, but it's still quite high compared to before COVID-19. High inflation means things cost more for people. Because prices are high, it becomes more expensive for all of us to pay for things in our country. So, Ms. Nicolyn, is there anything that we can do to alleviate the stresses the economy will have on us?
Well, I think the first thing we can do is slow down a little bit and really consider the lifestyle that we're living, and are we able to meet our needs and, of course, some of our wants based on the income that we have. So if we can slow down a little bit, take some time to plan, making sure that we are most definitely considering purchasing the things that we need and some of the things that we want, then yes, inflation will always be an issue. So it's just we need to be able to take control of our own lives. And so making the changes in our financing, perhaps earning more or spending less, those are the things that we have control over. So that's the areas that we can really focus on.
Thank you, Ms. Nicolyn. Unfortunately, we do need to take a break, but when we get back, we want to talk more about obstacles many of us face in committing to investing in ourselves. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Are you interested in diversifying your investment portfolio while maintaining a low-risk profile? Are you the smart, sophisticated investor that is seeking greater interest return on your investments while investing in your city? If you are, then you should invest in the Belize City Council's municipal securities. The Belize City Council offers both short and long-term securities that are attractive financial market options, which provides the investor with greater social added value satisfaction. You ask why? Because your investment in the securities are reinvested back into the growth and development of your city by way of infrastructural development, streets and drainage construction, parks, playgrounds, bridge rehabilitation, and much, much more. Let's look at the key features of municipal securities. First, they are tax-free. This means more of your money stays with you. You will enjoy greater interest yield without any tax deductions. Second, our interest rates of 4.5% on municipal papers and 8% on municipal bonds easily surpasses current financial institutions' interest rates on savings. Municipal securities are also a great investment in your retirement. The faster your money grows, the faster you reach your retirement fund goals. The municipal paper and the municipal bond are both tradable and transferable investments. This means that investors can get their money back before the maturity date by selling their securities to a third party. Lastly, investing in municipal papers offers investors a steady stream of income. You will receive your full interest earned on a quarterly basis until the maturity of the paper. To learn more about the Belize City Council's municipal securities and how you can invest in your city, call our financial advisor, Alpha Capital LLP, at 822-1794. Email at securitiestrade1@alphacapital.bz or give us a call at 227-3073. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Welcome back. We're having a conversation with Nicholyn Raymond, founder of Inner Peace Financials. Today we are talking about investing in ourselves. I know this Christmas and traditionally the season leads into MAGA season. We know that Belizeans spend so much on household items, presents, etc. Do you think this is prudent, Ms. Nicholyn?
Well, it's most definitely prudent for the persons that are spending. I think we have to consider our behavior. The thing with finances and money is that 80% of it is about our behavior. So we most definitely have to think about how we want to celebrate Christmas, and then also how do we want to be living after Christmas? That space between Christmas and our next payday. And so most definitely we have to consider putting some money aside, maybe even before you start your Christmas spending, putting some money aside for that space between Christmas and the next payday, and then build up your Christmas budget, looking at the gifts that you can actually afford, and then moving along with purchasing those gifts and really having that Christmas that you want, because that's the reason we work, so that we can have the lifestyle that we want to have. In this instance, it's just to make sure that we are saving before we actually go into that big Christmas spending.
So besides saving, what are some other things we can do for our financial health for 2024? And what are some things that we can do differently?
Well, of course, the main thing is we want to look at means to have additional income. So more than one source of income is always good to consider. How can we earn more, perhaps doing less in some instances, but also just having more income from different places coming in. And then, of course, we want to look at saving for that, just in case something happens, those moments that are definitely coming around. We want to make sure that we're putting something aside for that. And then investing, yes, we can consider investing ourselves, learning a new skill, being able to apply that skill to perhaps earn more money. And so you're not just spending money to learn something, but you're spending as an investment in yourself. So you can learn more skills, apply those skills to make more money, and actually find ways to give back to the community, which again also helps to develop us as individuals.
I completely agree with you. Last week we had Dr. Philip Castillo on the show, and he recommended an increase in a basic commodity such as sugar. So there is a chance that we will be seeing spikes in some commodities. Health is also a great concern for many, and it's not so economically feasible to get sick right now. How can we protect ourselves?
So the first thing is about preventing, getting sick. Ensure that you're having a high intake of something like vitamin C. So that's an area that's most important. And when it comes to your financial health, though, yes, you want to be saving something, putting something aside for, again, that just in case something happens, you want to be putting some funds aside for that. Oftentimes people refer to it as an emergency fund. But once you are putting something aside, then if something happens, you do fall ill, you have some funds to help cover during that time with your medication, and also perhaps if you need additional assistance. So saving, putting something aside is most important. And of course, if you have insurance, now is the time to actually fully utilize those services if you're not well.
That was going to be my next question in regards to insurance. Can you please give us your professional opinion on that? For the ordinary Belizean out there, let's say they may not have insurance, what would you advise them to do?
Well, if you don't have insurance, then you want to most definitely find ways to get the most affordable health care. And oftentimes that's going through the public healthcare system. And so you want to definitely consider what would be the easiest way for you to get help in case of an emergency. So you must know, it's good to know the contact numbers for emergency services within Belize. But also, if you don't have insurance, then it's most definitely something you want to consider in investing in, because we never know when, accidents or unexpected events can show up. And so most definitely, it's something that you want to add to your budget. You can perhaps find an insurance that's affordable for you and your family.
Thank you, Ms. Nicolin. It's so important to get information on financial health, and we do want to thank you so much for the conversation we had today. It was fruitful. We hope to see you more later in 2024, and thanks for joining us. When we return, we'll be joined by Ms. Janine Hamilton with another segment of Tech Bytes.
Welcome to City Pulse by your Belize City Council. Join us on an exciting journey through the heart of Belize City, where we showcase the transformative initiatives shaping our resilient community. Our commitment to the people is unwavering, and our city's progress is built on solid foundations. At the beginning of this year, we pledged to rehabilitate 90 streets. Proudly, we've completed 71 streets, or 36,431 linear feet, which accounts for an impressive 78% of our commitment. The Council has made significant progress. Among these, 23 have been concreted, 26 have undergone rehabilitation using the chip and seal method, and an additional 22 streets have been further enhanced, being filled or topped up with materials such as hardcore or all-in, demonstrating our commitment to improving our city's infrastructure. But we're not stopping there. We've identified 41 more streets that need our attention. We are projected to meet 100% of our 90 street commitment 2 months ahead of schedule, accounting for an unprecedented 54,829 plus linear feet of road rehabilitation completed within the last 10 months. This transformation is fueled by a $6.9 million budget allocation, with 59% coming from municipal papers, 41% from the Council's operations, and support from our valued partners. Stay connected with City Pulse and witness the journey of a brighter, more connected Belize City. We're committed to your future. This People's United Party City Council is always about the people.
Welcome back. We're joined again this week by Janine Hamilton, the Chief Technology Officer at Legacy Fund Limited. Welcome, Janine.
Hi, Destiny. Thanks again for having me.
As always, it is a pleasure. So right now, the holidays are quickly approaching, but with the holidays, we are experiencing a lot of traffic, particularly in urban areas. As the new year approaches, we do anticipate further alterations to our traffic system. Is there a possibility for innovative solutions or technologies that can greatly enhance the commuting experience on public transportation?
Yeah, there definitely is, Destiny. There's actually several solutions that can be adopted that would definitely improve the quality of our public transportation systems. For instance, one would be electronic ticketing solutions that would make paying for the transport services and also minimizing the cluster that usually happens at our public bus service stations. That would really help with that. There's also real-time information systems whereby passengers or commuters, they can be informed of where the buses are, the exact times that they're leaving, and so on. So again, that would help with congestion. It just gives a better service to commuters. And of course, I think that the authorities, they can use big data to analyze the different times that people are really moving, riding the buses, the taxis, and so on, so that can help with better planning and optimizing the experience as well.
Okay, thanks, Janine. But in what ways can we implement these solutions in our transportation services?
I think that the biggest way that we can implement these solutions would be strategic collaborations with public transit and also tech companies. That would bring new ideas and the expertise to actually execute on these ideas. It could also open up areas for better funding methods, creative ways for alternative income streams to come in using the transportation system. And there's also the risk sharing. So a bus operator, for instance, they would not feel so lonely, I would say, like they're taking all the risks, swimming in an ocean that they're not experiencing.
So you mentioned technology. I do have to ask, do you think that Belize is ready for on-demand ride services? For instance, in the USA, they have Lyft and they have Uber, which many of us are familiar with, but do you think that would work well in our country?
Well, as I know, there's at least one rideshare service in the market, which is Midriva. However, I do not know how it's performing because I have not heard much about it. However, I do think that we need to consider several aspects that would go beyond technology in that area to really determine whether or not we are ready for it. So we have to think about infrastructure or roads, digital mapping, GPS accuracy, because this is all related to that service being effective. There's also accessibility, which goes back to what we spoke about before with our digital divide. There's the regulations. I'm not sure if we have within our transportation regulations anything to accommodate on-demand services such as those. And then there's also market demand, which goes back again to penetration in the market. So I believe, yes, we can be ready for rideshare services in more urban areas. However, I think that we need the right environment for it to be effective.
Speaking of the right environment, can you share a case where the government and private companies worked well together in transportation and what factors contributed to their success?
Well, I've never been, but I've heard about Singapore having a very elite public transportation system. It is said to be first class. And so, but that came about with collaboration between the government and private companies, private transport companies. They also invested a lot in tech and in infrastructure, like I mentioned before. And they have in place the right regulations to support the goal that they have. So I think the other thing is really that if you're going to do PPPs, in any ways, public-private partnerships to realize these goals, then you must align, your goal must align, and it must be that you want to offer an excellent service for commuters.
Well, I am optimistic about what the future holds for Belize when it comes to our transportation and, of course, our infrastructure. But you know, Janine, this conversation has been very insightful, but we must go to a break. When we come back, Abby will be talking to Mr. Alan Auil on cycling in Belize, so don't go away.
Legacy Fund will change Belize from small-scale municipal improvement projects to national infrastructural advancement. Unsightly playgrounds, derelict buildings, unsafe bridges, poor housing choices will become a thing of the past. How will this happen, you ask? Well, with the right partners, of course, but not the ones you're thinking of. Legacy is not looking at traditional financial institutions. We will build this transformation with you, the everyday hard-working Belizean citizen. The hairdresser, the tour guide, the fruit vendor at the market. Using the market and innovative financial tools, Legacy brings you and Belize the financial solution to grow your wealth for you and your community. Contact us and find out how you can be a part of this exciting new Belize that we build. Call 822-1794 or email clientservices@legacyfundlimited.com. People, capital, innovation. Legacy Fund Limited.
Are you interested in diversifying your investment portfolio while maintaining a low-risk profile? Are you the smart, sophisticated investor that is seeking greater interest return on your investments while investing in your city? If you are, then you should invest in the Belize City Council's municipal securities. The Belize City Council offers both short and long-term securities that are attractive financial market options, which provides the investor with greater social added value satisfaction. You ask why? Because your investment in the securities are reinvested back into the growth and development of your city by way of infrastructural development, streets and drainage construction, parks, playgrounds, bridge rehabilitation, and much, much more. Let's look at the key features of municipal securities. First, they are tax-free. This means more of your money stays with you. You will enjoy greater interest yield without any tax deductions. Second, our interest rates of 4.5% on municipal papers and 8% on municipal bonds easily surpasses current financial institutions' interest rates on savings. Municipal securities are also a great investment in your retirement. The faster your money grows, the faster you reach your retirement fund goals. The municipal paper and the municipal bond are both tradable and transferable investments. This means that investors can get their money back before the maturity date by selling their securities to a third party. Lastly, investing in municipal papers offers investors a steady stream of income. You will receive your full interest earned on a quarterly basis until the maturity of the paper. To learn more about the Belize City Council's municipal securities and how you can invest in your city, call our financial advisor, Alpha Capital LLP, at 822-1794. Email at securitiestrade1@alphacapital.bz or give us a call at 227-3073. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Welcome back. Today we're jumping into the business of cycling in Belize. Local cyclists have been making their mark regionally with the iconic Holy Saturday Cross-Country Cycling Classic leading the pack since 1928. Another standout event is the Creme New Year's Day Cycling Classic since 1991, which is considered the second most prestigious race in the Western Hemisphere. Belizean cycling fans are looking forward to this race scheduled 5 days from now. Joining us in the studio today to share insights into the world of Belizean cycling is cycling enthusiast and former General Secretary of the Cycling Federation, Mr. Alan Auil. Welcome, Mr. Auil, to Legacy Markets.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. So, Mr. Auil, are we ready for January 1st? Are we going to be seeing any big things in 2024?
Well, I think that every year there's going to be improvement, and I think on New Year's Day in January, we have a lot of good, strong cyclists who are going to take the field, and I think they're going to do Belize proud. One of the reasons that the Creme Classic has become so big is that this is apart from the cross country, this is the one that also attracts foreign riders, and so we are expecting a handful of foreign riders, and I think the Belizeans will be up to the challenge to be able to compete with them. Actually, just a couple weeks ago, there was a race, a pre-New Year's race, if you will, from Orange Walk to Belize City, a little bit shorter distance. And the race averaged 27.9 miles an hour, which I believe, as far as I know, that might be the fastest race that we've ever had in Belize. So our boys are certainly improving, and they are getting to a very high level.
So there's a lot of talk about the New Year's Day Cycling Classic. We're all excited for it. Everyone is chattering about it. Are you aware of how sponsorship is going for the race?
I'm not quite sure. That's taken care of by the main organizer, Creme.
Okay.
So every year, and they've been doing it for some time, since, I think, as you mentioned, 1991. This will be the 33rd running of the race. And they always handle the sponsorship. They deal with the prizes. They handle the costs of running the race. Mm-hmm. And they have never failed. So, with this much time left to go, I'm sure that everything is in order. They do get, their sponsors, so it's not all from the Creme company or the Cremandala company, but they find partners to do it with. And yes, I think everything is in place. The race will go off, the prizes will be handed out, everybody will get paid, and yeah, it's in good hands.
How competitive are the international riders with our local cyclists, specifically for this upcoming New Year's Day cycling race?
Well, to compare it to the cross country, this year's cross country, we had, I think, 16 foreign riders, and they were all at a high level. We don't actually count what we call border town athletes. Border town is a term we use for the neighboring Quintana Roo, not just for any Mexicans, but only the ones from Quintana Roo in Mexico and from the Petén region in Guatemala. Those border town athletes can come in without any special requirement. We treat them basically as we do our Belizean. So when we speak about the foreign riders, we tend to think outside of even that area. Now, for the Creme Classic, we don't get the numbers. As I said, we had 16 foreign riders in the cross country. For Creme, normally we might get 1 or 2 or 3 only. But the ones that do come, they're coming to try and get paid, and so they're coming because they think that they can win. So it's much smaller quantity. The one American tends to come back quite frequently is a fellow by the name of John DeLong. And he has won the race before. And I expect that he probably will come again next week. And he is formidable. He is somebody that the entire field fears, and they prepare for him, and they know that the bunch that comes for Holy Saturday tend not to come for New Year's, but John DeLong is on the way. Mm-hmm. And this year he has even asked about bringing one of his teammates, And the teammate he wants to bring is a fellow who is a young guy, 31 years old. John DeLong, as a reference, is in his mid-40s. This fellow, Parker Kaiser, I think might be in the race. I hope he is. And he was a professional only 1 year ago. So it's a high level, it's smaller numbers, but a very high level. The foreign riders to have won the Creme Classic are much fewer than cross country. Obviously our fans, they're always saddened when we go through 3, 4, 5, 6 year stretches of losing the cross country, and that makes it even more joyous when a Belizean does win, because it's normally long in waiting. The Creme Classic might be the opposite. We probably have Belizeans win 6, 7 years in a row, and then maybe a foreigner would win. I think there might be 3 foreign winners for this race over the lifetime of the event.
You noted for the cross country, there was at least on average, I guess, 16 international riders.
We had 16 this year.
Okay.
In past years, we have sometimes had much fewer than that at the high level, at what we'll call a Category 1 or Category 2 level. The Category 1 is the highest level of amateur. And in most past years, we get less than 10. This year, we had 16. So we kind of opened it up a bit this year to try and bring more, to make it a bigger, better race, and to test the Belizeans so that, that the winner would feel, a greater sense of accomplishment. And we're happy that Oscar Quiros came through and did win.
So there's a lot of uproar about foreign riders competing in our local races, Belizean races. What's the feeling, at least the feeling of the federation of including these foreign riders to our local races?
Well, the federation finds it to be absolutely necessary, and the cyclists, they embrace the challenge. I think all the negative comments you might hear are from non-cyclists. It's from people outside the cycling community. The cyclists want the competition. The only thing that they are hesitant against is perhaps bringing a level of competition that is head and shoulders above our level. But if they are at our best level, maybe even a tad higher, then the locals really want it, and there might even be a sense if somebody were to win a big race like these ones without foreign competition, that they might be thrown the label of being a paper champ. Somebody who only won because no foreigners were there. So the Belizean cyclists actually do embrace the challenge. There was, a few years ago, there was a policy where local teams could have foreign riders amongst the team working with the Belizeans, and that's the issue of contention amongst the local peloton. Some would like to restore that tradition of having foreigners come in, so that basically foreigners could be hired as mercenaries. Bring in somebody they can identify, some top Mexican or Guatemalan or American or whatever, and hire them to come in and ride the race on behalf of a Belizean team, with the promise that they would be here to work for the Belizeans to win. That never played out the way they intended to in the past. Those foreigners always came in and got ahead in the breakaways and left their Belizean teammates behind. And they were the cause of many misery, much misery among the Belizean public on Holy Saturday. So many of those Americans, Mexicans, even Guatemalans who have won our cross country did so riding a Belizean with a Belizean jersey, riding as a teammate of Belizeans. I was part of the movement of trying to get that stopped and having the foreigners come and ride separated from the locals. But it's a matter of debate. My logic behind it was that our best Belizeans were on those teams. And when their foreign teammates rode up the road, it basically handcuffed our top Belizeans because they couldn't chase. Because the man running from them to win the race was their own teammate. And so I saw this play out year after year after year after year, and I lobbied to the administrations in those times, and I told them, you're basically tying the hands of our best cyclists because they can't chase, because it's their, these foreigners are winning our best cyclists' own teammates. And so the best way to have our guys go down fighting to the very last meter is for them to not have a foreign teammate, so that, let them get beat, but let them get beat, going down valiantly in fighting for the win. That wasn't happening. But, you still have the team managers clamoring for, we should be able to bring a foreigner on our team. So that's a matter of debate. The other question really is about sponsorship. Obviously, the fans want a Belizean to win. My take on it, and I think all the cyclists' take on it, is that sport isn't politics. We're here, if we invite somebody, it's like inviting somebody to a party. You can't invite them to a party and tell them you're not invited to the bar or to the food table. If you invite somebody to come to your party, you give them an opportunity to win. And if they win, then it's fair. And the other aspect is the sponsors. There's a lot of clamoring about they're taking our money. The sponsors don't seem to mind. Every year after foreigners win these races, there's talk that, we just let these guys come and take our money and sponsorship will dry out. And next cross country, we raise more money for the next cross country. So that seems to be, we seem to have the sponsors behind it because it's a big event. I think sponsors want a big event. The bigger it is, the more viewers there are, the more the event would be in the spotlight. And I think it would be a lesser event without foreigners. So the sponsors want in when there are more foreigners. The cyclists want the challenge. And so all we need to do is convince the fans that it's good for cycling.
What steps is the Federation taking to actively foster the growth of our young riders? Is the Federation organizing races and creating opportunities for these emerging and seasoned riders?
Yes, actually, the Federation does organize all the traditional classic races. There are also many other races that are held by other outside organizations, race organizers. And so I think the racing helps to develop them. What the Federation does is also try to recruit. I mean, I know the current Federation has actively approached the Ministry of Education as well as the Ministry of Sports to try and get into the school systems and see how they can actually recruit new athletes to come in. And I think the best way to grow the sport is by growing the actual numbers. The larger the field, the better the competition, and the more the Federation has an ability to spot talent. In other words, if you have 10 cyclists or 10 athletes and you try to find a world-class rider or a world-class athlete, it's more difficult among 10 than among 100. And it's more difficult among 100 than if you had 1,000. So really just the volume, just to be able to recruit. And I think the role of the Federation then would be to provide training for the coaches, to teach coaches how to coach, how to train, to teach athletes what they need to do with nutrition, with medicine, all legally, to help them to travel to some of the international games and championships that we are invited to. But the best way to develop cyclists to be world class is to have more high-level races, which is why we can't ban foreigners. We need the races to be as high a level as possible. We need 1 or 2 tours, because racing multiple days in a row helps to develop the athletes. We need altitude, because we need to climb to get more power. And altitude training is a big thing among cyclists. It means going up into high mountains and staying there in order to build your actual red blood cell count. It's a huge thing in endurance sports. But these are some of the things that the Federation does: the recruiting, the having races, and again, games and championships that we do participate in, and trying to spot the next talent. And once you spot a talented rider, then we try and get them to as many races as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Auil. This has been a fruitful discussion, but we do need to take a break. Is there any last words before we break off this segment?
Well, I would just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. And as far as cycling is concerned, yes, please, everybody tune in to the Creme Classic on Monday. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully a Belizean winner. And we look forward to further development of cycling in the new year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll join Destiny with our Innovator of the Week.
Welcome to City Pulse by your Belize City Council. Join us on an exciting journey through the heart of Belize City, where we showcase the transformative initiatives shaping our resilient community. Our commitment to the people is unwavering, and our city's progress is built on solid foundations. At the beginning of this year, we pledged to rehabilitate 90 streets. Proudly, we've completed 71 streets, or 36,431 linear feet, which accounts for an impressive 78% of our commitment. The Council has made significant progress. Among these, 23 have been concreted, 26 have undergone rehabilitation using the chip and seal method, and an additional 22 streets have been further enhanced, being filled or topped up with materials such as hardcore or all-in, demonstrating our commitment to improving our city's infrastructure. But we're not stopping there. We've identified 41 more streets that need our attention. We are projected to meet 100% of our 90-street commitment 2 months ahead of schedule, accounting for an unprecedented 54,829 plus linear feet of road rehabilitation completed within the last 10 months. This transformation is fueled by a $6.9 million budget allocation, with 59% coming from municipal papers, 41% from the Council's operations, and support from our valued partners. Stay connected with City Pulse and witness the journey of a brighter, more connected Belize City.
We're committed to your future. This People's United Party City Council is always about the people.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to the Legacy Business Show. This program segment will showcase a Belizean entrepreneur making significant waves in the Belizean economy each week. These are forward-thinking individuals who are pushing boundaries and breaking barriers. In this week's news, we explore another facet of the orange economy, focusing on the thriving music industry. Joining us in the studio is Yazthalia, an artist who has been making waves in the Belizean pop scene for the past 2 years. Starting with her hit song, I Don't Wanna Know, today we engage in a conversation about the significance of investing and the performing arts in Belize. Welcome, Yazthalia.
Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we are so excited to have you here. And first and foremost, congratulations on all your success and on your new Christmas song. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Well, yes, I released a new Christmas song, and most definitely I wanted everyone to, feel the Christmas and get the feel of, family and friends and coming together and everything.
So the name of the song is It's Christmas, and I think it was the perfect time to release it, obviously, for the holidays and to give us a sense of pride. It was so cute. Can you tell us a bit more about the creative process behind it, like who was in charge of directing it, and what was your vision for the music video?
Okay, so, the idea came about because me and my sister were talking about it, and we normally have a lot of different business talks. I mean, she critiques me a lot. She lets me know what I should do, what not to do, and advises me most of the time. So it was like a marketing tactic, most definitely, because, Christmas is coming up. You need to get with the trends and what's going on. And we came up with the idea, and then I went in an interview and someone told me about it. And then we were like, yeah, we have to do this. So December 1st, I just decided I'm gonna write the song. I'm gonna write this song. It's December 1st, Christmas is gonna come up, everything is gonna come up so quick. So I just wrote the song December 1st. I told my best friend and I told my mom, I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna write this Christmas song. Just give me out ideas. And then for like 2 hours, I told them what do we do during Christmas? Just start laying out the ideas, and then they started to say different stuff. And then I started to write the song, and I came up with the different rhythms and stuff like that, and how I would rhyme it, how I wanted it to sound. And then I went on YouTube, got the audio, and I bought it, and then I did it on my own.
Okay. So you mentioned writing songs. Do you typically write all of your songs, or do you have a writer?
Yes, I write all of my music. Okay. So that's my biggest accomplishment, because I write all of my music.
Okay, and is that something that you want to continue to do throughout your music career?
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. People have come to me and be like, oh, I have a song for you, but I just feel better writing my own music because it's me telling my story.
Absolutely. So I know firsthand from my own personal experience that when you are performing, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. Can you tell us a bit more about your preparation when it comes to performing throughout Belize or even at the International Music Festival that came?
Well, the preparation is honestly a lot, and I would most definitely say I deal with everything. So if I need to get my makeup done, I need to find the makeup artist. If I need clothing, I need to go out and find clothing. But some people that are really, really big helps to me I would most definitely say is Pink Boutique. If I need an outfit or anything, I could just go in there and they sponsor me with outfits and accessories and shoes and stuff like that. So they really help me to be prepared. And I got a new makeup artist, so every time I need my makeup done, I get that as well. So I have people that are behind me that help me as well.
Okay, is this outfit from Pink Boutique today?
Oh, not today, but the ones in the music video, that was from Pink Boutique. Okay. Yes.
All right, so basically you're saying you do everything on your own, so essentially you do not have a team.
No, I'm my own team. I'm my own team, yes.
Can that be a bit frustrating sometimes? Can you tell us a bit about how that makes you feel? Do you get overwhelmed? And also, is this your full-time job or do you have another job as well?
Well, of course, most definitely it does get overwhelming because you need to make sure that you have everything set. Sometimes you might forget certain times that you have set for stuff, and it does get overwhelming, but I mean, I'm tackling it on my own, and it's very difficult sometimes, but you have to really have a strong mind. And honestly, if I could do it, many of you other young people can do it. So never have a limit.
Okay, so this is a business show, so we do want to talk about the financial aspect of it. You're mentioning that you have to, well, fortunately you have sponsors for your wardrobe. What about your makeup? What about your hair? What about getting from point A to point B, getting to your performances? How has that taken a toll on you financially?
Well, honestly, a lot, because like I said, I have to deal with everything, but I do music full time. This is all that I do. There's no plan B. If there's this or there's nothing. So that's how you basically keep a strong mind and make sure that you get everything done and stay focused and have no distractions. But it does take a toll financially, and most definitely sometimes when you need like sponsorship from like other business or want to partner with them, it might be difficult because they might say, oh, this is just, you know, like a female artist, she might not need it or stuff like that. But it does have a toll on you financially, most definitely.
Do you think it's worth it?
Well, for me, yes, because this is what I'm gonna do no matter what, and I make it work. So yeah, it is worth it.
Well, I would say so as well, considering your music is now on Apple Music, Spotify, and more music streaming platforms. Can you tell us a bit more about how to get featured on that platform and what the process was like?
Yeah, well, there's many different ways that you can distribute your music. They have many different platforms, but the one that I use is DistroKid. So it distributes it on all streaming platforms that you would like.
I'm learning a lot here. I don't know much about the behind the scenes of the music, so it's nice to get some enlightenment. But we do need to wrap up, unfortunately. But is there anything that we can look forward to from you in 2024?
A lot. I've been laying low because I've been performing and doing so many different things, doing interviews, going to perform for different schools. But in 2024, I will be rolling. I just started with the Christmas song, but after that, we're gonna have a lot of new content.
And last question, what can we do as Belizeans to help you and to support you more?
Support more. Really, just support more, because most definitely, I would say a lot of Belizeans tend to critique Belizean artists, but not the international artists. Oh, as they see an international artist, oh, this one there, that one there. But we don't go the same mile that we run for the international artists. For the Belizean artists, oh, we just want to critique, oh, this one do that one do that, you know, do that good. When are we gonna say the Belizean artists are doing good? Like, even Stig could do something and people will critique. But another artist can come here for 2 seconds and, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. So I would most definitely say we need to support our own more than we go for the international artists. That's the only thing, honestly, because the support starts at home.
And who would you want some more support from? There's only so much that the ordinary Belizean can do besides, you know, watching your music, sharing and liking. But when it comes to real financial support and pushing you further, that would require assistance from government.
Yeah, most definitely. So most definitely the government and other businesses that I most definitely reached out to, and I would say they would decline you because, you know, it's not in their budget, but they support other different stuff. So I would say a lot of different businesses and the government as well.
Well, thank you so much, Yazthalia, for being here today, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your music and seeing more of you, of course. But unfortunately, this is the end of our interview.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
You're very welcome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Let us continue to rally together to support both our artists as well as our athletes, both locally and internationally. And that's it for today's show. Remember to join us weekly on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for another episode of Legacy Markets. For now, we want to say good night, and remember, together we create a legacy of a better world. Bye.